Karl Rove takes a shot at the Tea Partiers, saying that they're not sophisticated and they probably haven't read the work of economist Friedrich von Hayek. Was he married to Selma Hayek? Here now to discuss this and other stories are Eddie Sarfaty, comedian and author of Mental, Funny in the Head, Paulina Porizkova, former supermodel and blogger for the Huffington Post, and Joe Levy, editor-in-chief of Maxim. You know, when he says that they're unsophisticated, is he talking to the whole Tea Party about them, or is he just speaking about a few of them? Anybody? You know,
it seems like he's talking about the whole Tea Party. He could be talking about certain candidates. I don't know. Maybe Christine O'Donnell can see this economist from her house. I'm not sure. But, you know, the thrust of his comments in some German magazine was, in the Reagan Revolution, people were sophisticated. We read, no. Economic theory? No. People just voted for Reagan because he made them think America was great and promised to lower their taxes.
Yeah, but at this point in his administration, his approval ratings were lower than Obama's right now.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But the comparison to the Reagan Revolution and the Tea Party Revolution is not as sophisticated. That Reagan Revolution didn't feel particularly sophisticated at the time.
No, that's true.
But he does have a good point about, you know, the Tea Party not being so sophisticated. I mean, I never thought that I would agree with Karl Rove on anything. And for once, I'm like, yeah, he's got a point.
Well, I mean, you can't really lump the entire Tea Party. It's made up of a lot of different kinds of people. Christine O'Donnell, I know you do, but they don't like that. And I can understand it in a way. They're kind of like, you know, people who are scared of what's happening to their lives, isn't it?
Yeah, if you want to take the Tea Party as a movement seriously, then you are bound to come to the conclusion that these are people who are fed up with government, plain and simple. But if you go to the Tea Party ideologues who stir up the crowd,
right,
these people aren't sophisticated either, and they're preying on people's fear and anger, as ideologues always do.
Like who? Give me a name.
Glenn Beck.
Sarah Palin.
Glenn Beck.
Glenn Beck.
Glenn Beck, Sarah Palin. You know, these people
Joe Miller?
Yeah. People who compare Obama to socialism, this is ridiculous.
Okay, well, Christine O'Donnell, as you know, yesterday she yesterday, day before, whatever it was, I've lost track of time. She did not know, apparently, during a debate that the First Amendment covers separation of church and state. I mean, do you think that's dumb, or you think she's typical?
Listen, I'm a former supermodel, and I knew that. And I'm not even American.
Good point.
Well, I do think that, in all fairness, she is running to be a lawmaker, not a law reader.
Okay.
You know, and I believe that if the Bill of Rights had been written by the unseen hand of God on a stone tablet, she would be completely up to date with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, Thomas Jefferson coined the phrase separation of church and state, but it's implied in the First Amendment. Everybody knows that.
It's not just implied. I mean, it's fairly clearly stated.
I mean, Joe?
The government's not going to make... You want me to quote from the First Amendment? The government will not make... No, it's ridiculous. The government will make no law. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And when does this come back? When does all of this nonsense come back on the people who have endorsed O'Donnell? When does it fire back on Sarah Palin, who's put her seal of approval on Christine O'Donnell, who put her seal of approval on Joe Miller?
Okay, Joe Miller, he said about securing our borders, I'm going to read you what he said. This is the guy from Alaska. East Germany was very, very able to reduce the flow. Now, obviously, other things there were involved. We have the capacity to, as a great nation, obviously, to secure our border. If East Germany could do it, we could do it. What's the point?
Did he notice that the walls were created to keep people inside?
Good point.
Hello?
Not to mention that it kept freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of the press out.
And they shot you when you tried to climb the wall.
And also, there's St. Ronald Reagan. Didn't he work to
tear down this wall?
That's right.
I do think if we did build a wall, it would be an infrastructure project that we could all get behind.
That's true.
It's true, and with no minimum wage, we could do it cheaply.
Yeah, but we've run out of stimulus money at this point. We don't have any more money. Okay, so I fell asleep on the couch last night. Bristol Palin was dancing in a gorilla suit. I had this crazy dream. Is that possible? What do you think? I have to lay off the Chardonnay. Did you watch it?
I think I had the same Chardonnay.
Did you have the same dream?
Yeah.
There was Bristol in a gorilla suit. Were you in the same bed together by any chance?
Were we?
Oh, wow.
Listen,
this is getting interesting. Hold on, I'll watch this show.
Anyway, 76-year-old Florence Henderson She tangoed off into the sunset yesterday. She was voted off. Now explain this to me. Why is Florence Henderson off, or one of you, and Bristol Palin, who came out in the gorilla suit, still there?
I have to jump in. I'm so sorry.
It's
You're
okay.
much funnier than I am.
No,
but
no,
I was one of the contestants on Dancing with the Stars, and that I got kicked off first. So clearly,
so
this
you're
has
bitter.
I'm bitter.
Are you bitter?
I'm totally bitter. Really bitter. I practiced for weeks, and then I got kicked off.
Oh.
And I wasn't even like a really bad dancer. I mean, I was just kind of a mediocre
We're going to
dancer.
take a break, and then we'll pick this up in the next segment. So stay right there. We'll be back in just a minute. In just a moment. I'm back with my panel, and Eddie had something to say about Florence Henderson getting kicked off.
Well, first of all, I'm sick over it because I love her. But the thing is, she's totally sexed up. And who wants to see Carol Brady getting all sexed up?
Why not?
Wait a minute,
if it
Carol
was-
Brady getting all sexed up, I want to see. Florence Henderson
If
in
it
her
was-
70s getting all sexed up, I'm not sure.
If
I
it was
wanna see
Alice,
Why not?
a different story.
She looks great. Alice, that's a whole other conversation.
Exactly.
Wow.
What's wrong?
So what you're saying is
older
you're in...
women's sexuality, guys.
Exactly.
How old do we have to be to qualify as hot?
Well, the thing is, it's
Under
all
35.
about sex.
Don't you know the rule? Under 35. After 35, you become invisible to men. That's the rule. Don't you know that?
Well, no.
Maybe it doesn't apply to you.
I do think it's important that Bristol Palin stay on the show because I think it's really important for her to set a good example to young girls around the country so that they know that unwanted pregnancy will, in the end, lead to close dancing and provocative outfits.
Okay. All righty. Another Dancing with the Stars cast member, Brandy, said she hasn't had sex in 6 years and is abstaining until she falls in love. Now, Brandy's abstaining, Bristol's abstaining. Is Bruno the only woman on the show getting anything? That's what we all want to know here. She said in a recent magazine interview, I haven't been with a man seriously and in love in 6 years, and honestly, I tend to abstain if I'm not in a relationship. When asked if she has been celibate for 6 years, she said no. But it's been a long time. We're talking years. That doesn't even make sense. Did you have it or didn't you have it? Maybe she doesn't know what the meaning of the word celibate is. Why do we need to know about Brandy's sex life? And why are the three of you staring at me like that?
Because you are so outraged over this. Is it 6 years, or has she had sex in the last 6 years?
Well, maybe
Does she
I need to know.
understand it?
TMI, right? TMI.
Maybe she's having a Bill Clinton definition of sex issue.
I just think, who cares?
Maybe.
I don't care.
So you don't care?
I really don't
No, we
care.
don't care. The question
care.
is, why does America care? And why would she
I think
say
the
it?
insight that we have
Yeah.
here is that Brandy is a fearsome competitor, and she wants to steal the abstinence vote away from Bristol Palin. So she's trying to muscle
I
in.
see. Muscle in
yeah,
on
she's
the
trying to
abstinence.
muscle in on the abstinence
Now,
vote.
you know what else is shocking? Howard Stern, who parades women around naked on his show all the time, right? He was shocked at the fact that the guy who was with Brandy, I don't know,
Maxim.
what's his name? Maxim
Chmerkovskiy.
Chmerkovskiy?
Yeah.
That guy. Well, you would know how to say it.
I
You're a
would.
Czech. He was smacking her on the ass, Stern said, like she's his personal property. I was astounded that they were showing this on TV.
Yeah, this is because Howard, when he sees girls dancing, there's always a pole, and they're by themselves. So he's never seen anybody
hands
dancing
allowed.
with them.
And his, you know,
Yeah.
this guy, his first question to every female guest is, are your boobs real?
Exactly.
He asked me that when I was on his show.
And?
He was like, I
And?
can see your nipples through your t-shirt. And I went, you know.
Did you
Not
turn
so
it
good.
around?
I don't know, but I'd
and
like to
ask
find
him
out.
if he was
You know what?
not
He
endowed?
is
That's
so
men don't
loud.
like
He's
that.
so loud on his show. Like his mic is turned up way louder than everybody else's. It doesn't matter what you say; it just like goes right over you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar
He's
to
like
me.
a tea partier.
On some of the shows I've been on lately. So is Howard just becoming the Gloria Steinem of serious radio? I mean, think about it. He has older children now. Maybe he's getting a consciousness
Well, he's
raising.
married to a new woman that he probably wouldn't like Maxim Chmerkovskiy to be hitting in the butt.
Okay. Thank you very much, you
That was
guys.
very graphic.